Hey friends, Channel 7 did a report about a tweet I did speaking of the Meridian City Council election mistake. Now, they do reports about me all the time. I live rent-free in their minds. That's not what I'm talking about. It's that they're downplaying the mistake that was made by Ada County in the ballots. I want you to hear the report.
It's a big question. Can we trust our election results? It brings me to a tweet that some of you sent us over the weekend and today from Governor candidate Ammon Bundy. It says this, quote, "Attention Meridian voters. Ada County Clerk Phil McGrane knew the absentee ballots were incorrect before the election, but he hoped for a landslide so it would not matter. However, it came down to 56 votes, end quote there. And we talk a lot about election integrity on this show, and it's important that we talk about this claim because it is true. There was a mistake made on ballots sent out this past cycle, but the mistake made may not be as dramatic as you assume.
Okay, so here we go. Now they're trying to talk about how basically the mistake was not that dramatic. But there's a couple parts to it. One is it does matter how the names are listed on the ballot. And in fact, it matters so much that there are many articles and studies that have been done on it. And we'll even talk about what Idaho has done here in a little bit. But for example, this is the Kellogg Insight. It says, talking about research, the title is First Among Equals. It says, specialists in the mechanics of voting have long recognized that the order in which candidates' names appear on a ballot influence voters' decision. Typically, candidates listed at the top of the ballot earn a greater share of the vote than they would receive in any other position, regardless of their political policies or personalities. Dilbert A. Talbert showed that not only did candidates listed first enjoy a favorable advantage, but that this advantage was greater in contests further down the ballot. Now, Mother Jones published research that was done, detailed research that was done in Texas. And it says the order is selected randomly, so it's talking about the research, which allows an examination of whether being first on the ballot matters very much. Darren Grant of Sam Houston State University did exactly that. He found that it really makes a difference. In fact, they said the effect is invariably positive. The largest effect was in low-profile, low-informed judicial elections like City Council of Meridian, and that ranged from 7 to 10% difference simply how your name was listed on the ballot. Now, let's go on. Let's see what else they have to say.
In one city council race, seat 6 in Meridian, the 3 candidate names were not mixed up properly across all ballots like they should have been. It's a practice that is not just done in Idaho, though. No, we don't just do this to do it. It's actually a part of state code.
Yeah, he's right. In fact, the state of Idaho, and most states actually, have determined that the effect is so great, meaning that the advantage is so great to one candidate if their name was listed higher on all the ballots, that they made a law. And the law says in Title 34, Chapter 9, so 34903, Section 4, the names of a candidate which appear on the election ballot for federal, state, county, and city offices shall be rotated in the manner determined by the Secretary of State. And that matter has been determined. So it is law. It's not just, something you could do or not do. It is the law in Idaho. It is under the Idaho Statute 34-9. And so this was a mistake not only that gave one candidate advantage over another, but it also broke the law.
Here's Phil McGrane.
In this
so now Phil McGrane is the one responsible for the mistake.
In the middle of October, after we had already mailed about 2,000 absentee ballots countywide, and given that we found the error, we tried to do everything we could to remedy it. So first and foremost, the error was in all ballots at that point in time, and we spent about $15,000 correcting it to ensure that all of the election day ballots and the early voting ballots would be accurate and the rotation would be exactly the same. So candidate names are always going to be the same, but really that rotation issue. The issue with the absentee ballots is we had already been mailing a large volume of absentee ballots.
Okay, so he said, there was a mistake. They identified the mistake, a month in advance. Then they decided to correct the mistake on the ballots that they could do, which were the ones in their possession. But the problem is, he said there was a large amount of absentee ballots that were already mailed out. Okay, he didn't say a small amount, he said a large amount. And that's where the mistake is. Now they have to decide, do they print new absentee ballots and send them out and have them mixed up with the old ones? Or do they just let it go? And they decided just to let it go, hoping that there was not a close race. The problem was, it was a close race, 56 votes.
And we were trying to figure out what is the best solution, sending out duplicate ballots so there would be numerous duplicates all throughout the county, or trying to address the issue in the event the race was close, as it turned out it was, and just disclosing it to the candidates and working with everybody involved.
Hey, this
to make
is
sure
where
we
I
could
think that
remedy it as best as
it
possible.
gets off, mostly. The mistake was made, we don't know if it was made for a certain reason or not, but the mistake was made. But this is where it gets off. They're acting like the remedy, because they said that they were just going to let it go and hope the race wasn't close. If the race wasn't close, then it didn't matter. But the problem is it was close, very close, 56 votes. So now it matters. So now they're saying, well, what's the remedy here? And basically, there is no remedy. Just talk to the candidates, report it to the Secretary of State, and then do nothing about it. That's not okay. That's where it becomes a problem.
I don't want to make excuses for you or your office, but mistakes do happen in elections. And I thought it was interesting that we highlight something like this to show what does an election mistake look like.
Now here, 208's just wanting to say like it's no big deal. Like, well, we understand you make mistakes and, that happens. But the problem is the remedy. Look, when we make mistakes, we fix them. And in this case, we would have to have another election with the city council. That's how else are we going to correct the mistake?
A minor error may have occurred, but we wanted to make sure that the candidates knew what had taken place. So,
what good does it do that they just know?
Okay,
so they lost. Or because there was a mistake, so Mike Hahn lost. What good does it do that they know?
There's certainly no effort to hide anything in this process. We want to make sure we're open and disclose with everybody so that it is a fair election, that everyone can have confidence in the results, particularly the citizens of Meridian, who are the ones who headed to the polls to vote.
What does notifying the candidates and notifying the secretary do to correct the mistake? Absolutely nothing.
Meanwhile, Mr. Bundy says he's very serious about the situation, and he appears to be filing a legal suit in court over it. There's a form on his candidate website asking people who are interested to sign up to file with them in court to seek another full election for City Council Seat 6 in the city of Meridian.
That is correct. And so I believe that this problem, this mistake, this broken law needs to be corrected. How it's corrected, maybe there's a couple different ways, but it needs to be corrected. We can't just allow it to keep going. We need to resolve this problem. We don't just inform that there was a problem. We don't just inform the Secretary of State, inform the candidates that there was a problem. No, it needs to be corrected. We now have somebody on Meridian City Council who probably shouldn't be there, and if he is supposed to be there, we need to know for sure. And the people of Meridian should be very concerned about this. And so I'm asking people to go to my website. You can go to votebundy.com, go to the news, click on the news, and then you will see an article. Just scroll down. It's called Ada County Clerk Makes Election Mistake, Action Required. And you could sign up there. You can also donate to the legal, to pay for the legal fees, which we need you to do. And we're going to litigate this so that it is corrected. I don't get to decide how it's corrected, but it needs to be corrected. So there it is. I'm asking for your support. We do have a legal team that is reviewing this right now, and we will be taking action on it soon. Thank you.